Ever found yourself in a city where you felt like you were in an episode of Survival of the Fittest, only the jungle was concrete and the predators were bad drivers? We've all had those heart-stopping moments, right? A car swerves into your lane without signaling, or the vehicle in front of you decides to slam on the brakes unexpectedly. Or maybe you've had to navigate through a labyrinth of complex roadways, all while dealing with aggressive drivers who seem to have forgotten the meaning of road etiquette. You may have wondered, are there particular cities notorious for such driving horrors? The answer is yes. Some cities, due to factors like traffic congestion, complex road systems, aggressive driving behavior, and higher rates of accidents or traffic violations, have earned a reputation for having some of the worst drivers. Today we're ranking the top 10 cities in America with the worst drivers. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Starting at number 10, we have Los Angeles, California. The city of angels, known for its glitz, glamour, and unfortunately, its heavy traffic. The city's sprawling layout and population of over 4 million people contribute to constant congestion on its freeways. The 405, 110, 101, you name it, there's probably a traffic jam on it right now. And where there's traffic, there are accidents. Los Angeles consistently sees a high number of road incidents each year, making it a city that requires the utmost attention behind the wheel. Not to mention, the city's infamous rush hours can turn even the most patient driver into a frustrated one. But don't let this discourage you. Los Angeles is a city of resilience. Its residents have adapted to these conditions, finding alternative routes, carpooling, or even turning to public transport. So, next time you're stuck in LA traffic, just remember, you're not alone. At number 9, we're heading to sunny Miami, Florida. Now, Miami might be known for its vibrant nightlife and pristine beaches, but it's also notorious for having some of the most aggressive drivers in the country. Drivers here seem to have a need for speed, often pushing the limits of their vehicles and the law. The city's roadways are often congested with traffic, making the driving experience even more challenging. The heavy traffic is not only a test of patience but also a contributing factor to the high frequency of accidents. It's not uncommon to see fender benders and more serious accidents on a daily basis. And let's not forget about the city's complicated network of roads. Navigating Miami can be a stressful experience, especially when you're sharing the road with impatient drivers. So if you ever find yourself driving in Miami, remember to stay calm and keep your wits about you. Who knew paradise could be so perilous on the roads? Number 8 takes us to the city that never sleeps, New York City. This bustling metropolis is infamous for its densely populated streets, where the honking of taxi horns becomes the city's unique soundtrack. The drivers here are known to be as aggressive as Wall Street brokers, zipping through lanes with a boldness that can be quite unnerving for the uninitiated. It's not just the drivers that add to the complexity of navigating these roads. The city is also known for its frequent congestion, a testament to its vibrant, frenetic pace. Whether it's the rush hour stampede or the weekend traffic, the city's roads are always bustling with activity. This constant buzz of vehicles combined with aggressive driving makes New York City one of the most challenging cities to drive in. In the Big Apple, it seems the drivers are as fast-paced as the city itself. Coming in at number 7, we have Atlanta, Georgia. Known as the bustling capital of the Peach State, Atlanta's roads are often as busy as its vibrant city life. A significant issue here is the heavy traffic. With a large volume of vehicles on the road, congestion is a common sight, especially during peak hours. Atlanta's highways often resemble parking lots more than they do roads, but the challenges don't stop there. With the heavy traffic comes a higher rate of accidents. Frequent fender benders and more serious collisions are unfortunately all too common. And then there's the issue of distracted driving. Whether it's due to cell phones, GPS devices, or simply the stunning city skyline, distractions are a major problem on Atlanta's roads. So, while Atlanta might be home to some great attractions, its driving conditions are another story. In Atlanta, it's not just the heat that's intense, it's the driving too. At number 6, we're venturing into the heart of Texas, Houston. This sprawling city seems to stretch into infinity, a testament to the grand scale of the Lone Star State. But don't let its size fool you. The roads here are anything but open and free. Houston is known for its high traffic volumes, a product of its booming population and thriving industries. The rush hour in Houston is a spectacle of its own, with bumper-to-bumper traffic and the constant hum of engines echoing through the city. This heavy traffic often leads to congestion, turning the city's wide roads into a maze of slow-moving vehicles. And where there's congestion, accidents are never far behind. Houston has a higher incidence of accidents, a sobering reminder of the challenges that come with navigating its busy roads. So buckle up and stay alert. In Houston, the wide-open Texas space doesn't apply to the busy roads. Next stop, number 5, Washington, D.C. Now, if you thought navigating the political landscape was tough, try navigating the actual streets of the nation's capital. It's the city where traffic congestion is as common as cherry blossoms in spring, turning your everyday commute into a test of patience. The city's complex roadways often leave drivers baffled. Throw in the constant roadwork and construction, and you've got yourself a real-life maze. It's not unusual to find yourself caught in a whirl of detours and road closures, making a simple trip to the grocery store feel like a strategic mission. And let's not forget the city's notorious roundabouts. These circular intersections are a challenge for even the most seasoned drivers. Navigating through the whirl of traffic while figuring out the right exit can feel like a game of chance. So, buckle up and keep your eyes on the road. Driving in DC, it's as complicated as politics. At number 4, we're heading to the historic city of Boston, Massachusetts. Known for its rich heritage and notable landmarks, Boston also has a reputation for its challenging driving conditions. As one of the oldest cities in America, Boston's road layout reflects its history with a maze of narrow, winding streets that can perplex even the most seasoned drivers. Adding to the complexity, Boston drivers are often cited for their assertive, some might say aggressive, driving habits. Blinkers seem optional, and the concept of yielding sometimes appears lost in translation. Moreover, Boston's roadways are not just complex, they're constantly changing. Construction seems to be a perennial feature of the cityscape, leading to detours and unexpected road closures. So if you're planning to navigate the city by car, be prepared for a bit of a challenge. In Boston, you'll need more than a good cup of chowder to soothe your driving woes. Coming in at number 3, we're off to the Windy City, Chicago. Chicago, known for its towering skyscrapers and deep dish pizza, also has a reputation for its challenging driving conditions. The city's heavy traffic is a product of its bustling population, and it's a constant test of patience and skill for the drivers navigating its streets. The weather here is another factor to consider. Chicago's winters are notorious, with heavy snowfall and icy conditions making the roads slippery and treacherous. One moment it's a beautiful sunny day, and the next, you're in the midst of a snowstorm. This unpredictability can lead to an increase in accidents, especially for those unprepared for sudden changes in driving conditions. The city's roadways can also pose a challenge. With a mix of one-way streets, sudden turns, and underpasses, Chicago's roadways require a keen sense of direction and a good deal of alertness. In Chicago, the wind isn't the only thing to watch out for on the roads. Number 2 on our list is the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Don't let its nickname fool you though, as the city's roads can be anything but love-filled. Philadelphia is notorious for its aggressive drivers who seem to be in a perpetual rush, making it a bit of a challenge for the faint-hearted. Frequent honking, close tailgating, and sudden lane changes aren't uncommon sights in the city. Adding to the chaos, Philadelphia grapples with frequent traffic congestion. The city's narrow, one-way streets and the sheer volume of cars can make driving quite a task, especially during rush hours. It's this combination of aggressive driving and dense traffic that contributes to a higher incidence of accidents in Philadelphia. So if you find yourself driving in Philly, keep your eyes on the road and your patience intact. After all, in this city, navigating the streets is an art in itself. In Philly, brotherly love doesn't seem to extend to the roads. And finally, at number 1, we have San Francisco, California. The city by the bay, known for its iconic Golden Gate Bridge, charming cable cars, and steep rolling hills, is also notorious for its challenging driving conditions. The city's unique topography adds an extra layer of complexity for drivers. Steep inclines and sharp descents can make even the most seasoned drivers break into a sweat. Add to that the narrow, winding roads, and you've got quite the obstacle course. The city's traffic congestion is another notorious point of contention. With high volumes of cars coupled with numerous cyclists and pedestrians, navigating these streets requires utmost caution and skill. But it's not just about the hills and traffic. San Francisco also sees a high number of accidents, particularly involving cyclists and pedestrians. This city's vibrant street life is a double-edged sword, creating a bustling atmosphere but also posing risks for those on the road. In San Francisco, the roads are as steep as the driving learning curve. And there we have it, the top 10 cities with the worst drivers in America. From the congested roads of Los Angeles to the aggressive drivers in Miami, each city presents its unique challenge. New York City with its densely populated streets, Atlanta's distracted drivers, and the sprawling expanse of Houston all test the patience and skill of drivers daily. Washington, D.C.'s complex roadways, Boston's narrow streets, and Chicago's unpredictable weather conditions raise the stakes even higher. Philadelphia's frequent traffic congestion and San Francisco's steep hills and interaction with cyclists and pedestrians further complicate the driving experience. These cities consistently face issues related to traffic congestion, aggressive driving, complex road systems, and higher rates of accidents or traffic violations. It's a dynamic landscape, with rankings that can shift with each new report or study. Safe travels, and remember, no matter where you are, drive responsibly.